Millers Miller.
Jammin Jon.
And we are here with an album review, Abyssus from Athens, Greece. The album, Death Revival. And man, it's a thrash giant of an album. They, the band though, they started in 2011, had a couple EPs. They released their first full length in 2015. A couple EPs later, a couple compilations. I saw like two, maybe.
7 splits and 4 EPs.
Yeah, it's
Busy
crazy.
Beavers as far as shorter album releases.
Mm-hmm. But they come out with a full length this year, and man, it's a killer release.
Yeah.
It really screams that like mid 80s, late 80s, 90s kind of thrash. Like,
yeah.
Right there.
Yep. While classified as like old school death metal, I think it definitely leans more towards thrash.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We got Costas and Natalie and Annihilus. Analytis. We got Costas and Analytis on vocals, and you know the old routine. We're gonna screw these up. There's no way. They're from Athens, Greece. Pantos Gormpalotis.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah,
and we mean well.
Man, we do, because that's one of the guitarists. The other one is Christos Lykos and Jan Westerman on drums. Vagilis or Vagilis on. I like Vagilis. It's very
Vagilis.
What's that?
We're not good at this.
Yeah.
We're not. Look.
That sounds like the sound Robin Williams make when he's explaining the peanut butter bit with the Iraqi like.
Yep, and that's what we get for living in Ohio.
These guys are awesome. Look them up. Costas, Panos, Christos, Jan, Vagilis.
Vagilis.
Either way, Panos and Christos are killer guitarists, and that really is the driving force of this album. And right away in the first song, Metal of Death, the main riff is just badass, and they have badass after badass riffs in this. Get used to it, because you're going to be headbanging and making the stank face a lot.
Yeah, these guys know how to write riffs. If there's one thing I can say about this album, I mean, amongst the many things I'm going to say anyway, if there's one thing I can say, the guitar playing is superb for what they're doing.
They managed to keep those quarter note snares, that pound, 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 pound. Mm-hmm. They managed to make the riffs just badass where that doesn't seem old. It doesn't get old.
So first off at bat, you're immediately greeted by like if Slayer and Death and Obituary wrote a song together. That's immediately what the tone of this record stems. And that's a lot of what you're going to get throughout the entire album, to be honest.
There is a thing I noticed, and I did this. If you go 22 seconds the first song, and then you skip to the next song, go to 40 seconds, and you just keep going back and forth, and don't tell anybody what you're doing, you'll think it's the same song.
It does sound... The whole record doesn't do that.
No.
But in the first 2 songs, Metal of Death and the 10 Commandments, the riff is so close to one another that it does sound like the same song. I'll state too, like the riffing you get in the first song versus the second song. The second song I think is very simplistic as far as riffing styles go. Just pretty much just a chug, and that's it. And doesn't really change from that.
Yeah, and it sounded so similar that and it's fine if that is what you intend to do and make that a 2-part song or whatever, but make that transition to that, or really play into it, or just make it a big long song. I mean,
yeah, that too.
Yeah, just make it a long song. But either way, I think 10 Commandments is the weaker song of the album. And
I mean, there's only 7 songs on this record.
Yeah.
And my I guess one of my takeaways would be, if you're going to do 7 songs and they're all not the longest of songs, maybe mix up the dynamic just a little bit more. But this album
is badass.
Yep.
It really is.
It redeems itself as you get to the second half of the album as far as overall structure and dynamic.
But it picks up like pretty much at like the 3rd song. And straight up late 80s thrash, just right down your pipes, man. Just right down it.
Yeah, they don't slow often. I can count maybe on one hand the amount of times that there's more dynamic introduced than just beating someone to death with a hammer at breakneck speeds.
You do get more of those dynamics coming in with the beast with the...
Yeah, this was a mutual favorite for the both of us.
Not my favorite, but...
Lots of melody over a stomp groove. I think this is where hooks start to come into play.
Yeah, the song is a beast, pun intended. It really stands out because...
On the inside.
They get out, and like you're saying with the dynamics, they get out from that pang, 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 that quarter note kind of thing with the snare. They get into those more grooves, those half notes, those like 2/4 beats, and the drummer is excellent at fitting right in those pockets, man.
Yep. And at this point in the record, this is where I think the lead work starts to stand out. Now, the lead work on this entire album is absolutely tits.
Yeah.
Very crisp, clear, crunchy tone on that guitar, and the phrasings that they incorporate. I didn't look to see if both of them play leads or not.
Yeah, we should have tried to dig into that. There wasn't a whole hell of a lot on them.
Yeah, we got on Encyclopedia Metalum and found them, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Maybe it's because this is only their second full length.
But these dudes play it Billy Gibbons style, man. Just fit the song, fit the riff, fit the mood, fit the feel. We know you can go a billion notes and because they do it in little pieces here and there. But other than that, they just fit in with the pocket. They fit in the groove, the feel of the riff around it, and that makes the solo just boom, just amplifies that whole thing. And it's not even... Most of it isn't something that's crazy fast.
No, it's not. It's got
perfect.
It's got kind of like almost like a jazz proggish style lead.
Those little blips have that feel to it. These guys really have fun with the leads and fun playing guitar. It's not all just shredding, man. It's all, you can tell they put the heart into it.
And in fact, the song after it, the song Genocide, which is another one of my favorites, starts out a minute and 10 seconds worth of this really dark, kind of creepy Middle Eastern violin. Sounds like it's being played in a cave. Really, really well done violin. And sometimes I like to complain about bands that throw into the middle of a shorter album this big long intro, so to speak. But actually, this is one of the longer songs, weighs in at 6 minutes and 18 seconds. And yeah, that first minute and some change is just wonderful violin.
Yep, absolutely. And you guys know I rag on shit like that all the time. I usually don't like it. But I love good instrument playing, and this is good instrument playing. It's instrument playing at its finest, and I appreciate it. It does stand out. It doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense to be in this album, but fuck it, I'll give it a pass because it's awesome. But it leads into the song itself, which for me loses a little bit of impact because it goes back into the same kind of tropes you got through the first two songs. You gave us a little something different, and now you're going back to it. So it's kind of like a midpoint, which it is in this album. So at this point, you're on a teeter-totter. You don't know which way you're going, but you got to listen. Listen.
Right? But I do like the verse riffs in here. This reminds me of if Morbid Angel played thrash.
I was saving it to the end, but the vocals are a big pressing issue for me. Like originally I listened to it and I was, okay, so here's the stages of me listening to this. The first time I listened to it, I heard the vocals. I was like, man, what the hell is going on? It's got this like that sort of thing. Yeah, and I was like, man, I can't get past it. The second time I listened to it, I'm really listening to them, and I hear a good bass line for a vocalist. If you just cut that out and like enunciate in words, he'd be awesome. And then it just made me mad. So I was like, oh, this album's a 3 because then it made me mad. He can do it, but he's just doing that for whatever reason. I don't know. But and this is all my opinion, but I think he could be a fucking killer vocalist if he cleaned the shit up a little bit. I listened to it again, and my rating went up.
He's getting there. I think it sounds very fitting for what the overall tone of this record is. It'd be like if John Tardy, Chuck Schuldiner, and Lemmy all did vocals together. It doesn't really, as far as like vocal cadences are concerned, it doesn't really stem far from that dynamic, but I think tonally it's where it needs to be.
Tonally, it's like if Chuck Schuldiner was impersonating Christian Bale doing Batman. That's what I think.
Album closes out with the song "The Wolves Are Out to Hunt."
Oh, you forgot the Witch. Man,
I did.
The Witch
I did.
fucking jams, dude.
Sorry.
Oh.
We're cut that whole thing.
That riff. We're not cutting that.
Nope, because I missed the song.
That riff is so sweet. How could you forget that song? The Witch is badass. But anyway, The Witch.
The Witch, the one I missed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's good.
You had an hour to think about it.
Because I'm sorry. Yeah, we had some technical malfunctions, so we're back again.
Yeah.
Just later.
These last two songs are my favorite part of the album. The Witch is... I mean, I even wrote, the song fucking jams. That riff is badass. That's all I wrote because I was just sitting there.
Sure. I mean, the last two songs, I would say, are the epitome of what this entire record is. These are kind of like the powerhouse of the album. The Witch is just this really quick 2 minute and some change. You're welcome, Sonny. 2 minute and some change barn burner, and just big in your face, stomp your face off, heavy as balls, sour lemons all the way, and then closing out with "The Wolves Are Out to Hunt." Opens with this slow, nasty groove, almost crowbar-like sludginess.
Which I love. That's why it's my favorite song.
Yep. It's the first time in the entire album where it really slows down and lets the old school death metal come out to play.
And that solo is oh so sweet, man.
So very sweet.
Freaking love the leads to this. This song is my favorite. And like we said before, they just play in the pocket. They play what fits. They play what the song needs, not what they want to show off and play a million notes. They play what the song needs. They fill in their little ditties here and there to show off their skill.
Little ditty.
But they throw them in there to let you know the boys are here to play. They ain't no slouches on the fretboard.
They don't slouch. I'm kind of slouching right now.
I slouch a little
but
bit
there's
just
nothing.
You're short.
What is it? Bailey says, it may not be very big around, but it sure is short.
And on that note, we'll wrap this up. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. I'd settled at a 4 out of 5, and the vocals. I get on the vocals again. It's just because I hear that dude is good. He's good.
Sure,
he's got it.
sure.
He's just gotta clean. Make it clean, and like you were saying, it fits into.
We gotta jam you some more shit.
I listen. I get on the vocals all the time. That's all I bitch about is vocals.
That's true.
But it's with this guy. I hear good vocals. I hear it if it's just a little clean. I want to hear what you have to say, man. You got a story. I want to hear it. I can't hear it if I can't hear it. You know what I mean?
Per Encyclopedia Metalum, it's war stories, and I mean,
it sounds sweet with this music and this riff. War stories, like
they're great stories.
Sign me the fuck up.
Yep.
I don't know what story you got, man. I want to hear it, but I mean, he's got it. He's got that original kind of sound to him. If you could just understand, it would just kick up his vocals to the next level. That's what it would do, and that would take this album from 4 to a 4.5. That's what's holding it back from being a absolute stellar album. This is a really, really solid listen.
This album makes me want to fix all the speakers in my car. I really dug this album. It's a 4 out of 5 for me as well. And vocally, I would say I like it, but I think it really fits this kind of music. This cross between thrash and old school death metal, I just think the vocals fit. While I could have used with something like, growls, because, I really like death metal, I understand. The guitar riffs are a mile a minute in here and very well done. Tonally, they're great. Everything crushes on this album. It's got a real thick sound to it.
Yeah, it's got a good mix too, and there were some songs in there too where they overdubbed some choir thing. It was in Beast Within. They did that choir thing in the back, and it wasn't overpowering at all. It was just layered nicely underneath, and they did a good job. The mix was great.
Yep. I really dug it overall. Definitely check these guys out.
Yes.
This is a noob for me. I hadn't heard anything before it.
Nope,
so,
me neither.
I'm probably going to go back and listen now. But yeah, I am an Abyssus noob. That is fun to say.
Yeah, and a fan now, I can say.
And a fan.
And if you're a fan of this, hit subscribe. And let us know, what did you think? Did you jam this album? Jam it. Come back. Let us know. Get in the comments there.
I am Jammin Jon, but you could be jamming whatever your name is.
Jammin Abyss.
Jammin Abyss.
Abyssus.
Yep.
Abyssus.
You could be jamming whatever your name is, jamming Abyssus. And why wouldn't you?
After the video.
Yep. We also have Patreon.
Yes.
And
Link there.
we occasionally put stuff on Patreon.
Yeah.
So that's
And
really cool.
We got a new shirt coming out, which is really cool.
We have a new shirt, which is fucking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I didn't wear the other one around so much because I didn't want to be that guy wearing my own shit. I probably will wear this one around a bunch because this
cool.
is a sweet ass shirt.
And we will announce that soon.
We're really close to 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Like really close to 10,000 subscribers, which I never thought would ever be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
that. We have some cool gifts in the giveaway at this time. I don't know if any of that crap's been announced. If
Nope,
it hasn't been announced yet,
Nothing.
that'll be
We're
a
coming
soon.
up on
That'll
it.
be a soon thing. You'll see it.
Yep.
But holy shit, guys, 10K. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And on that note, until next time.